Hey everybody, welcome back. Honoree, so awesome to have you here again. How are you?
It's great. It's been so long. It's been like a
It's
couple of hours. I've missed you terribly,
been an eternity.
but it felt like an eternity for
Yes, yes,
real.
yes, it really does.
Yes. Yes.
Um, I'm super stoked about this video because I need to
Yeah.
ask you some questions about books that I I did not need to be convinced about the wonder of a book, but I didn't understand the power of a book for a business until
Okay.
I really got into like what can a book do for you. So if books are so freaking awesome, like why are they so awesome?
Well, because everyone should write a book because they can't win an Olympic gold medal. So books are the next best thing to winning an Olympic gold medal when it comes to boosting your brand, helping you to get more business, and becoming the go-to expert. Think of it this way. There are a lot of people, if you go to LinkedIn and you put in what it is you say you do, right? So I would put in publishing professional,
Hmm.
right? And up will come all of the people who give publishing advice. And then I could narrow it down to say who advises on self-publishing or independent publishing. And so the list might get shorter, but there's still a long list. And so when you're looking for an expert, how do you know that the expert you're talking to is actually the expert? Because is anyone going to go, yeah, I really just started. I don't really know a lot, but go ahead and hire me anyway. No, no one ever says that. They're like, I'm an expert in this. I'm a professional at this. Give me your American Express card and I will help you. And so the way you distinguish yourself, the way you set yourself apart from in front of anyone else who says that they do what you do is to write and publish a book. That's why books are awesome, because they are a way for your prospective client or your probable purchaser to have some time with you, right? They're spending time in your words. They're spending time almost inside your mind. They're learning how you think, whether or not you have a sense of humor, whether or not you're actually an expert. Some people do, some people don't. There's no judgment, right? But it's just a way for people to get to know you
Hmm.
and to call you up and say, I spent 2 hours with you. I spent 3 hours with you. I loved what you did. Let's have a conversation about me hiring you as my expert.
Ah, yeah, that really hits because that's exactly how I feel about reading an expert's book, right? I feel like I'm getting to know them and that person's never even met me. That's
Yes, it's a little interesting being on the reader side and then meeting an author that you admire so much, because it's like, I don't know about you, but I'm like, a question. I have your book here and it's highlighted in 47 places and I have little flags. And so I just have some questions if you don't mind, right?
yeah.
So you feel like you know the author, even though you don't really know them. But nevertheless,
So I
that is
mean,
what brings people to you.
right. And I think there's a lot of people that I meet that they want to write a book, but they're not sure why they should write a book. I mean, what do you tell someone when they hear that they should consider publishing a book,
Yep.
which is different than writing, right? You can write the book, but you got to publish the book. You got to get that thing out there. Why is it so important for people to consider publishing the book?
Because once they have that book will be their representative and will be able to get to places that they cannot go simultaneously. You cannot go to 87 countries at the same time. You cannot have conversations with 1,000 or 10,000 or 20,000 people at the same time. And yet that's what your book is doing when you're not there. So by publishing a book, you are putting a de facto marketing piece in the hands of people who will then self-select in or self-select out based on whether or not they like what you're talking about in your book.
Ah, that's amazing. And I mean, so like let's say you've been able to work with tons of people that are in a position to write and publish their books. I mean, there has to be we're going to go into a deep dive on this topic in other videos, and we do it in the courses and you do it in your books. But if anyone's like really dying to get started, what are the quick like 3 action steps and 3 things to consider that you would recommend for them?
Yep. So the very first thing is to pull back, slow your roll, Sparky, and to figure out where the book fits into your business. So I see a lot of people just go, oh, I need to write a book. And they come up with a book title and they sit down and they write the book and then they go, oh, I can just publish it on Amazon and boom, we're done. But they're not considering where the book fits into their business and what the book is meant to do. What is the book going to do inside your business? How is it going to be utilized in your business? Are you using it to get fame, fortune, or freedom? Do you want to make money from your book? Do you want to make money as a result of your book? Do you want the brand identity? Do you want to raise your profile? Have people recognize you as the expert in your, field? Or do you want it to allow you to build an income stream where you're more disconnected for your business? Like, where does it fit in? And is it going to be content that you repurpose? So there's a lot of things to consider in terms of like just that number one thing. Where does it fit into your business? 2, who is the book for? And the short answer for nonfiction, business, personal development, or professional development books is your avatar is exactly the same as your ideal client or customer. So if you want more people coming through the door who are your ideal client, then the person you're writing the book to is your ideal client, right? Easy. So when you get to a fork in the road, as Yogi Berra would say, take it, right? You know which way to go because you know who you're writing to. You're not writing to everyone. You're writing to one person or one profile of a person. And then finally, you want to think about in terms of the content of the book, what are the questions that people are asking you on a regular basis, right? I would imagine that you get, I want a course, Lucas, but do I have to have a full-size course? Can I do a mini course? Can I do an email-only course? Do I have to do video? Can I do voiceover? How do I start with a course, right? So that would be, if I were advising you on the contents of your book, I would say you need to write a book about creating a course, and you need to answer those questions that people are asking you on a regular basis, because where there's one, there's many, and those questions will get you through most of the content. Now, there's more to that, and we are going to dive into that in a deep dive later. But that's enough to get people started. You need to create an outline based on those questions that people are asking you. The 3 cautionary pieces of advice that I have are to, when you're thinking about where the book fits into your business, think about where the book can fit into your business for the next 10 years. That will eliminate your write and publish in a weekend or write and publish in a month tendency. I'm just going to do it myself. I'm going to edit it myself. I'm going to design it myself. I'm going to publish it myself without a guide or education. Think about the fact that your book can make you tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not $1 million in a 10-year time. And so if you think about it from that perspective, it's like, gosh, I want to take a minute and make sure that this book that is my representative, that's going to go everywhere for me, is going to be dressed up like, in the olden days, we used to call it your Sunday best, right?
Yeah.
You would get dressed up to go on an airplane or to go to church or to leave your house, right? And so you want your book to be dressed up and ready to go. So when it encounters someone, it's showing up. You don't want them to dismiss you because you didn't dot your I's and cross your T's. Along the lines of that, then, the second thing is I want you to think about investing the time and money that it takes in order to produce a quality book. I understand being 50, 60, 70% of the way through the book writing process. It's long, it's arduous. And there is that part in the middle where you're, toward the end, but you're not close enough to see the finish line and you're tired and you're like, I just want it to be done. Take a rest, but don't quit. But also don't publish thinking, oh, I can just republish it later. You won't. You're never going to come back to it and make it better. It's going to be out there and you're going to be disappointed and embarrassed, right? And when I say you'll be embarrassed, I've been embarrassed because I made all the mistakes I caution people against making, right? So I've had someone go, there's a typo on your back cover. That hurt, right? I mean,
thanks, dude.
This cover looks awful. Yeah. And unfortunately for me, it was my second book and it was just a mistake. It was just, it was the wrong your, Y-O-U-R versus Y-O-U apostrophe R-E. But the person who pointed it out to me got great glee in pointing out that I had made a mistake on my book cover. And some people are a little mean and spiteful, so just don't give them the reason, the ability to do that. And then the third thing is, if you are thinking about the fact that your book can be making you money for a decade and you're going to put the time and money into in the book, remember your book is not an avocado, right? In the fitness world, we're like, avocados are great, fat, fiber, all the things, right? But it's going to be ready to eat on Thursday between 4 and 6 p.m. And before then you can't, it's ripe. And after 6, you got to throw it away. It's dead, right? Your book, if it is well done, if it's quality content, it's not going to expire. It's going to be evergreen content that you can share and share and share and repurpose. So just slow down, take the time that it takes, think a decade into the future, and know that you are not in a rush. It is a long, day by day, consistent, persistent type of a process where, and when you look at it that way, you will succeed 100%.
That's awesome. And just so timely. I mean, took me a little while to realize some of those things, but it's amazing.
Awesome. Well, we do live in an instant coffee, microwave popcorn, I want it right now, right? Send me Uber Eats kind of an environment. And so when it's going to take me a year, what? I have to take 6 months to do it? Like, that seems like so long. And it is so long, but it's 6 months or a year and a few $1,000s to invest in something that is going to pay dividends for you for so long, many, many, many multiples of what you put into it. Absolutely worth it.
I like to think about it like a tattoo. It's like this thing, when you put it out there, or like a legacy item, right? Like, if you're gonna leave the earth, that book's gonna be there when you leave. And you don't want to cut yourself or anyone else short by not doing a good enough job with it, right? So awesome wisdom, Miss Honoree. You are always so gracious with sharing, and I really appreciate all the advice that you've shared with everyone today. Guys, if you haven't had a chance, go check out honoreecorder.com. Be sure to check out empirebuildersmasterclass.com, and you see all the links down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all the good stuff. And we'll see you in the next video. Thank you, Miss Honoree.
Thank you, sir.